Mm. Hello, man. Hmm. Yeah, so basically it's more that I'm learning core errors, and I have a previous session yesterday, and I kind of misunderstood how they work, and they're pretty interesting. Yeah, but then the theory is, because I have a theory maybe to do a library, at least for my project. So I was actually doing streams for another project, and I found out that I was literally issue in a big project on a backend. Yeah, it's cool because I didn't know. I have no idea about the error wrapping, how they work, and it just works. Like, no one was testing this, right? So you just need to do this, and it keeps wrapping up automatically, and is able to go back the chain. So since this one is the most nested, it goes right. It's kind of inheritance in a way. So if you look at, I mean, probably you know, I didn't know that wrap level 4, all of them return true, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it is nice, yes. But this is not really what I wanted to do anyways. It's something that I learned. I was like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't know this. My theory I have, and I think I want to create a package. It's finish it just for me. Because I think I will do this probably in a separate session or later on, but I have issues. I think what else, yeah, indeed, as type in what this is what I'm doing here, by the way. So I created a function. So here I call it catch, but I have no idea if this is correct, right? Like the name is not doesn't matter. What it does, yeah, but I tell you what this does, right? So not only it tells me because initially what you want to use this probably in each place where you have this type of error, use this syntax, which is a bit lengthy, right? It's very verbose. But what I'm thinking is that if then is not caught, I wrap it as up error. Therefore, no matter what, this will always ensure. Actually, I could call it ensure. I don't know how to call this yet. But you always will have an up error. And thanks to the type, which is not going to be exported, um, meaning that someone cannot create a up error with this type, um, then you know, thanks to this type unmapped, that is uncaught error, right? Likely, yeah. And now, and this actually using this for my theory package. So that is why I learned this is even better to. It goes along to my theory, right? But yeah, so this is how it works now. So let's imagine I have some function, right? It returns an error, even if even if the error, if I do, you know what? If I do default. Actually, I can do fm errors new unknown error or some fucked up. Actually, you know what? I can even do because this is where I was doing this as a query when you have some other errors from all the library. So now I go one line, like I do one more type of one more loop, and the fifth one is unexpected error SQL no rows. But since I mapped in theory, yeah, type unmapped. So it goes here, so I'm able to still know what it is. Anyways, making them all one type, you make it impossible for normal error catching to work basically. Yeah. But there's another reason why I want to do it one type I was thinking. Because because maybe I can explain the theory because so, when you talk also it's good to explain what is my problem and try to go in the same window. Sorry, I need to open another one here and open what I had in new Vim. Which is in project game go example. And where was I in CD? So because I have a simple and then where was I? Exceptions, I believe. So I was here, right? Because I can't really open to Golang. I mean, I probably can, but I'll blow up my poor laptop. So this is what I had open, right? Just open new Vim because it's lighter. I don't care, it's just an experiment I'm doing. So the issue I'm having, I started this old project, I want to restructure it. That have errors that goes some level deep, in a repository, some level of the process you're doing. I'm just doing a account registration. You just send an API and you do register, you log in, you check a credential. And I have a service pattern, in this case the auth, well, account auth, which it checks whether you have a login created, an account, and so on. So there's multiple steps. It's like a service that uses multiple other services. The problem is that some of these errors are thrown on the repository, some on the other dependent service, like the credential and provider service, and they need to bubble up. Sometimes they don't. And sometimes at the end of the day, I'm just doing HTTP request. So this isn't a controller. And again, the structure here is not the best, but it's not important right now. So here I was like, how do, like, you need to kind of map, like do not of this mapping of errors, just to understand, okay, what do I have to return? Because I don't want to return something that is a 500. So if it's a 500, for example, I want it to mask, to don't show the message to the user, and there was not a really good way to map. So my idea is, and I think I'm using this Go approach a bit different because I come from all programming languages like Python, where I have errors all over the place. So if you look just here, right, I have errors all over the places, and this I want to create now in a single package, but this is a different thing. And then I have them also defined as, hold on, I think these are on the package. So so I have some custom errors. It's a mess. So my idea was, and that's what I'm probably going to do next, to instead, maybe this is a wrong approach in Golang. So instead, I'm creating one type of, and that's what I want to do to elaborate, one type of struct error, simple, and using an unwrap, you kind of keep giving context of the error, and that's beautiful. That's why I didn't know that it works very well. But then how you're going to know what error is are going to be just constants of strings of a certain type. And this I wanted to check next. I wanted to check next that I don't want to pass any string on the type of the constructor of the up error to make sure that it has to be that type. Maybe it works. Exactly. So don't write JavaScript Ruby in the It's not that I'm not really trying to do my own wrapping, because actually I want to allow the standard library to be like, I want this to work with the standard library. I don't want to do so much functionality. Really, I want to do more this. And so instead of, let me explain my idea. Instead of do so many errors all around, like these ones. First of all, I don't want them to be in a package level and some nested package anymore. I think I want to do them at higher level. Plus, I want to reshape the whole structure, but this is a different story. Because yesterday with our lighting, enlightening that I'm doing this wrong. But anyways, so instead of do so many specific errors, I think I want to do just one file with all errors that I'm expecting in my application. And that's it. And thanks to this, I can know doing like a switch case, for example. Where was it? Doing this, for example. What error I'm facing. I don't. So rather than create a lot of small errors like in other programming languages, maybe, and this is also why, because that's why I started to have this idea, is that first, I have two styles of doing the errors all around the places, as I showed earlier. And that's easy to fix, you just pick a style and that's it. Like it's a no-brainer. But really, so I have this style and then this style, right? And then pretty much you will see I found that, okay, I cannot use this style almost anymore because it's kind of very limiting. I need to add more context to, well, this was before I knew you can wrap with errors using this as well, but okay. But this is a lot of boilerplate code. So yeah, I think maybe it's easier if I just do it, but this was my idea. So they wrap as their type, so you don't have to do all of this on your own. All you have to do is implement an error interface, and you can use your own function to make the ones you're trying to have stuck. Yeah, indeed. I don't want to do the wrapping. The wrapping is I want to let the default Golang wrapping. The only one is defining the unwrap method, which is nothing. It's just at the end of the day, what you do, you tell which is the next error on the chain, and it will keep doing this until maybe it finds a default error, not a custom one. I mean, anyways, yeah, this is only my idea. I wanted to experiment a bit with this, and actually, I can do this next. I close this mess because then here I add, yeah, because I was looking also at different. Actually, let me close this because this as I said, I have an alignment and I want to change the whole structure. But this I do in a separate video, on a separate live. Because first I need to really fix the error thing before the app grows and becomes unmanageable. So maybe I just want to do another experiment. Actually, I can do it here. I don't know. This is enough. This is enough. What I wanted to do, I want to do another experiment. Just gonna copy this and then say 3. So then, and then I'm gonna change this in a moment. So in here, what do I want to check? Yes. I think I just don't need to do all of this. I just want to return. I just want to return an error. I want to see, because I don't want, I mean, all of this kind of breaks a little bit if I'm able to pass any string. Wait, let's see what happens. Some other thing. So if I do actually a copy from the first example. Yeah, I actually, yeah, if you want, if you're trying to get stuck tracing, you may want to check this out. Yeah, indeed. I mean, I was just like 10 minutes earlier, I was asking the AI to give me some example of knowing packages like existing, and I think this is included. Yeah, got errors indeed. These are cool and it may be something I build on top. But none of them is there. Maybe this one is cockroach DB, whatever. It's the one as it seems more complex, but I didn't like it because there was not example, so I said fuck it. And I don't really. It seems none of them really cover what I want to do. And maybe once I do it, maybe I find out that I'm doing something stupid. But this happens. It's life. Yeah, multi-air. Yeah, what is it? This one, eh? Yeah, indeed. I also noticed this. I think actually a few of them, or maybe this one, this was a package to do what's now join. Indeed, yeah. Um, so it's kind of redundant. Anyways, I wanted to try. Is it? Is it not running? So example 3. Let's see. Some error. What am I trying to do here? I don't even know. Ah, yeah. What I want to do here is this. So up until now, it works as I want it to work. That was my initial idea. But now I want to see how it acts. And this has nothing to do with errors. It's just with a type, which is a string. I don't know how it reacts on Golang. Oh, cool. So, okay, if I do default, yeah. So the test I'm doing here, the little experiment is to pass to up arrow any type of string which is not type error type. And obviously it's not able to map the error, but it's not exactly as I wished it could. It would work, you know. The best thing not treat go errors like exception. They are first class return values. Yeah, yeah. This is also what I'm not trying to do indeed, because um you you just go against the entire language, I believe. Anyways, here is no. I wished that here would throw an exception, but it doesn't. So because it wouldn't be nicer if you don't allow anything that is not of this type. You know, it's not a big deal. You just don't do it. You just don't put any string. But still, Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Maybe I'll ask the AI here very quick. So having this string type, is there and if I confuse the AI more than what I'm confused. See this struct, which happens to be a error, but it doesn't matter. It defines the type as error type. However, I can create such struct using any string. So I was expecting this to work this way, by the way, because it's more maybe like an alias doing this. Error type string is more like an alias, but maybe not. Question: is there a way to enforce it to pass an actual because then I think to create it dynamically, like not from the constant, you would do example blah blah, like, and so it becomes of this type. Yes. Yes. Well, if it doesn't, these are valid indeed. Last type was declared as a string instead of a last type were declared as string instead of error type. Because type system can ensure the field is an error type, but it cannot enforce at compile time. What? Hold on. See, returns a common peasant string. This compile because something is an untyped string constant. Does not mean only this constant. Okay, it only means field must be of type. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Peasant string. Yes, duck typing. It's, I think, so it's doing the automatic implicit inversion or whatever it is. So if I do this, yes. Okay, well then, it's better than nothing. Anyway, it's not a deal breaker. A little bit. Which basically what this means, if anyone, because I'm thinking this to make it as a package, which is probably no one gonna use it, just for me to have fun and knowing, like, try to maintain a package or whatever, just for learning purposes. But this, if someone does this, then what I'm saying is, okay, you are then responsible to say you need to know how to handle this. You become responsible. So it's your. So if I do this, no, case, will it work? Type peasant string. Okay, yeah, declare not used. So the question, okay, and I guess it does this duck typing here as well. Because if I do print line, what does it do here? Huh. Well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, here even Golang removes onlighting to say that this kind of redundant, redundant type conversion. So, you know what? I think I can start to work on the. I just want to commit, and I can show. Yeah, indeed, it's just a string, but because maybe it could be something that is not a string. But I don't know. Just I want to push this one. Theory 2, and then I push to the Go example. So this, by the way, I have it this in my repository where I just put my little experiment. Anyways, I guess I don't understand at all what it is supposed to add over standard errors. I don't think I'm adding actually anything on standard errors itself. As a matter of fact, yeah, I want to use as much as possible the default one. It's more that it's a different way to use what's been done in the standard library, if this makes sense. So I'm trying to use what's been done, but in a slightly different way to think, because once you learn how a language works, you may just find that how it's been used may not have been the best way, and sometimes you just do worst. So so what was my idea is it's not this too much, not the error itself, but map on the application, because the application can grow, and already the level where I am, it has a lot of logic, and I want to know, okay, what is this error? And okay, this error is this, and in theory I could just, maybe I'm just confused myself, because I could just use errors new, and that's it. I can just do that. Because I had this idea before I knew about wrapping. But it would look the same. Yeah, exactly. So I'm always confused myself too. If I do example up, we're gonna do here an example up, right? So to rename. Just maybe show in an example what I mean. So first of all, package main, just to quickly main function, hello. So I want to define, I just want to do one thing. If I do when cons thing, I just want to see if because this is like a big project with multiple nested thing. So can I just import it? print errors. Okay, it's fine. I can keep this long as import. It's not because this then you can imagine it would be in a normal project on the root. This entire package, and in reality could just be in the same package. But so my idea was to do this. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy what I've done on the other side. Which, yeah, I realized that maybe doing this, I could just use errors new. And thanks to unwrapping, yeah, I can actually do that 2 ways and see which one. The cool part is that you can use constant. So imagine now this is an application. And why is an error out? What is doing? Because I didn't copy the struct. So this now would have been in where you can just copy. Maybe it doesn't need to be an external package. Like I'm not seeing anything other than not invented here. Yes, indeed, it's probably just like me more learning. And as I said, maybe I don't need to define error type. I just use the error. It's probably better. But so now actually I can check which one is the best and why, whether should I use this or just a standard one and that's it. Anyway, so imagine this. It's going to be, let's remove this. In a root, is a root package of an application. And I want to define all errors of the application, right? In one place. Then the discussion architecture should be split. It's a different story. But let's pretend this is what I decide. All in one place. Good. So you're gonna have not found. You're gonna have maybe and I want to keep them generic. And I don't want also to keep go standard, like append them with error, because since it's an errors package, also the naming here is not important. It's implicit, right? That it's not is an error. Anyways, record what? Record does not exist. Not exist. And you could use maybe just the iota, so a normal enum. Server error. What else? Like account exists, right? Like when you already have an account you try to create, you would raise an, it's a duplicate. Now on my application, I would have a service X. Actually, do like, let's call it something, right? Service create account. And this is going to be an endpoint. And handler create account. So this is like an HTTP handler. Call it here user. Doesn't even matter. Now, when I create an account, I may return error, right? This, in this case, is going to return errors up error. What the fuck is he doing? Hold on. Error pgx error no rows. So this is the do the unwrapping. Again, I'm not doing anything new. Let me copy what I had early on. This one. So this would be like the underlying error that happened in the controller somewhere. Well, it should have been different, but no. Well, okay. Well, actually, I can do record does not exist. And here would be get account instead. I just want to make it easier. Get. Good. Okay. Next, what I want to do, up error, errors, error. So now I can ensure that this is my application error. Because again, here I would have to return some status, right? And I don't want to handle a lot of cases like, what is this? Because maybe, imagine this goes to a repository, right? No, I'm not going to do it, but it will goes to a repo calling SQL. So it could really bubble up any type of error that it didn't catch, maybe. Because there is a cases where, yes, I map the SQL type of error. By many cases, you cannot map all of them. So you just re-return the unknown error. But at this level, I don't want to return the error to the user. But in some other cases, because maybe there is a service get account, or in like I was doing create account, I may have some rules like their username, it's whatever. So the username format, for example. So I wanted a way to map this, and now I can do, yep, case fnt print, right, 404. This imagine this returns to the user, and in case it's like some error that it's unmapped. Let's export this a moment. FNT for 500, and this could be default too. Default. Okay, something like that. So at a certain point, I do have a mapping, but it's going to be the same everywhere else. And especially, if it's something I don't know what it is, because it's not mapped, then it's a 500. And I want to log it as an error. That's really the main problem. What to return to user and how to log it. Because I don't want to make noise of something that it was, like I want to control depending on the error, whether I want to log it or not, and I'll just become verbose on the server for no reason. And yeah, if I run this, fair enough, unmapped. Yeah, I forgot to change this. Okay, it's still an error, I think. Yeah, so right now it's kind of return 404, right? Because I know. But imagine this was nested somewhere. Account repo, and it's really the one returning this gets. So you can imagine there's multiple nesting, or it's happening somewhere else in the application. Since I wrap it in something I know what it is, and it's always going to be the same, I only have to, like, the map is going to be more, like, easy, I think. And if here I catch error, and I can still do the wrapping thanks to what's being built in the I return fmt error F, service error, repo error. I believe this is how we do the wrapping. Something like that. Oh. Let's see. Func make. Let's see what. I'm gonna copy your function. Okay, it's copying the whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna. Let's see if it compiles what you wrote. Yeah. Thanks, man. Oh, that's good enough. Then so more or less. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we have a handler. Yes. But here, then you still have like, yeah. If from here, so this is pretty much the idea. I want to still map with an error, because then I was thinking, okay, you can put somewhere else the status code, like at the low level of the repository somewhere else. But the reason I don't want to do that, I give an example. Imagine this, I do a SQL select blah 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 from account where ID blah blah blah. From the repository point of view, I could say, I want to return 404. But depending on what you're doing at the service level or business logic, maybe it's not 404. Actually, if I create an account, I don't want the record to be there. So put 404 here does not make any sense. And so I just wanted to have a way to communicate. Now, I use this, right? What if instead I just use normal errors? Meaning, because now I have a new knowledge that of the unwrapping. Actually, I can do this very quickly. Maybe I can do this very quickly. Up error for normal people. For normal people. gRPC, yeah, it's something I also want to check that later. It's definitely, yeah, something I want to explore. So I just want to see now the difference. You know what? That's one thing, very quick. And then I think I'm done with the test. For errors for normal people, meaning how it should be done, probably. So let's do this. Instead of var constant, let's do so it's going to be errors, new unmapped errors, right? Let's import this. And then I'm not gonna write all of them. Just actually can do this very quick. Not found. It's going to be error not found. Oh, let's do this one too. What the fuck is that? Ah, right. Yeah, let's remove this. gRPC is less a front end thing, though. I know a lot of people, public people, use connect gPRC both through. Nice. I think gRPC is for communication between also like microservices. This is what is my understanding. So if you're to microservice, you want to use okay, connect. Okay, that's two different things. Okay. Probably I want to add that later on. Once I have actually more. For now, I'm just using normal, catch 2, normal HTTP. Just do very, very quickly. And I think I'm done. I think, yeah, I think I may not need all of this. In type, actually, we don't need type here. Because the only reason of the type, I mean, you can still use it, right, if you really want to. But we don't need this function anymore. This is still cool though. I'll do like this a small utility function, which it could just be. No, it's fine. And yes, I could call this new, but the problem is that it may be already up error. So you just do this, and if not book, we wrap it in our up error. And if now I do copy paste, I just want to do type 2, type 2, and I type 2. Why it's not? I think I was doing. Okay, this. In this case, I want to pgx up no errors. So the type 2, it's similar to gRPC, but uses standard HTTP plus user, and it means you don't need gRPC web and act as a proxy translator. The way to get around this problem is to use. Oh, okay, this is cool. We're gonna, yeah. Let's see. Okay. And you mean, but this is using gRPC, okay. Connect, copy that. Okay, I just copied this part. Thanks. I'll check this. Actually, I want to put it for later. You might read me here because I have a very bad memory, so I had everything. To check. Then connect. It's not just, that's an error type. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, I really have like less than basic of understanding of gRPC, so it's kind of lost here for this. But yeah, I'll check this out for later because I think, yeah, it's better to end all of this. For here, I don't want to use catch, I want to use catch 2. And now, I just want to cheat a little bit. Show me how to use a switch case in Go for errors. Okay, that was fast. La la la. No, I don't want a switch case. Okay, yeah, fuck. I can just do this, right? So just a switch, and you do okay. Error is error up error. this. I want to import the package. We got 2 errors for normal people. And here, I say should this going to be here unmapped if it's default 500 anyways, but if I oops, I was meant to do this somewhere else. Yeah, so was in number 2, catch 2, import the errors, and here was not found, I think. And I want even to do, yeah. Hold on, what am I doing? Yeah, I want to exaggerate. I want to do db error. Yeah, db error custom is going to be this. And in here, oh, this is where maybe using also join. I can do db error custom and this errors not found. Yeah, this is useless. Okay. So now this is nested. It's a new error having the original database error, and then I'm joining them with my custom error not found. And here on the controller, I don't want to check for all other type of error that could happen. I just want to check for the errors I actually have on my application. So I'm expecting there's an error. It doesn't matter now. And then this, yes, it works. fmt print 9. Yeah, that's it. So it works. So maybe I don't need maybe I don't need the constants. I just needed the default package, as you said. And the error detect? It's just an error type. Okay, cool. So just an error type. And the error can include a public facing message and more detail. An error detect can include a public facing message. Yes. Yes, just to give context, right? So you can do. Yeah, because there's also a thing. I don't want to lose the context. So the cool thing about this, I know, is like I'm discovering the fire. It seems like. Yeah, I really feel like I just discovered the fire, or like hot. Sorry, not the fire. Hot water, meaning I didn't discover anything new. It's just how to use it Go properly, I guess. Because now I want to check one thing. If here, so we are correctly mapping to 404 using here just exposing one error type. Despite this, we have a database error wrapped with an unknown error, because here it's going to be, it's unnamed. We don't even know how to understand what error is. Joined, well, and then we joined this to the our actual app error, right? Nice. Now, and we already see that it works, but I want to see. And I joined one thingy. I'm going to copy one function, one line. I did it in the other script. I have now the app error, and I want to check, is this also a PGX error, just in case I need, right? And return true. It's fucking beautiful. So that's it. I think that's it. So I'm done with this. Like it's good enough. I'm thinking what else could be done. Okay, let me try to open both with Golang on my actual project, which is right now anonymous. I hope it's not blowing up the computer. No, it's actually holding pretty well. So, I'm gonna put this on the side. All of this mess happened while I'm working on this. That this in a separate session, I want to put it, change the structure, because as I said, I'm highlighting. I saw the light, and I realized that I don't think this is the go way to do these things. Just too much nesting. I think I want to make it the package more flat, but it's a different episode, a different conversation. But so that's where I was at, where I noticed like this is what I was doing is nuts, because actually here, and even more here, here is where I'm doing a registration of an account, okay, and it doesn't matter why, but the account and login is separated. So because of this, I'm doing this in 2 steps. But here on the controller, I'm doing the hashing of the password, and it's fine. So here's really the juicy part, where I'm doing the registration of the username by username. This is for a video game, right? For a possible video game. And this service, which does register by username, actually has other dependencies, so multiple other services. One for the authorization provider, because for video games, you could have Steam, you could have Xbox, PlayStation. You can, if it's from an Android, Anonymous or Google Play, or you can have your own authorization mechanism, which is what I'm doing now by username, the typical, you can use by email later on. But because of this, I'm using different service, and each one returns a bunch of errors. But here I'm mapping multiple times the same thing. And this goes a deep level. Like here is returning error. See, I'm checking, what kind of error is this? Is error not found? Shit, so we return. But what I'm saying here, what I want to say, just I don't know the record, right? So I can actually just move. First of all, this not keep this in a database, I believe. Actually, I could, not that I'm thinking, but because another thing is also importing. I have errors all over the places. I need to import them. So, and I don't want to lose also doing this, I'm losing the original error, which is um no, these are doing a mapping of the error, but it's not gonna change, I think. But here there may be other type of errors of the actual database, so I'm losing the context. And yeah, so I think it would work out. I have to put the errors in a much higher package, in a surface that pretty much all the application, what it needs, it can easily retrieve without doing 2000 imports first. Secondly, I think this idea to wrap all errors in one common error that follows what I want to follow, I like this idea. It's not just because I did it, okay? It's just, I wrote all the login auth. Ah, that's nice. What is the company? Oh, it's a secret. No, it's fine. No, don't say it. It's fine if you don't want to. But that's cool. I like also login. I think it's very important. And yeah, like I'm doing just some basic authorization with JWT token. But I think login is very important. Maybe you have a different opinion. Obviously, it's opinion based. But my opinion about login is so first of all, you need to log, right? You need to have a way to tell what the fuck is going on in your application. I just don't like to have silent errors, so like you don't have visibility. But at the same time, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to, again, this is my opinion, like to be too verbose. And for example, I worked in a company where they were doing log errors when they use, and it's related with authorization, by the way, when the account did not exist during login. So imagine you do login. Was that or yeah? And it would return like was during login or something like that, right? Like or get account, and it should be a 404, right? And they were logging that as an error. In my opinion, this is not an error because it should state an error of the application, whatever. But it was then all these errors. Then you would just ignore them pretty much. Anyway, any errors that you would when you put as a log level error, and then when you check the logs, you just want to, ignore them 99% of the time. Maybe those don't need to. Maybe you need to change the level because it's just useless noise. And so maybe you want to do warn, but maybe it's fine because maybe there is some hackers that try to log in with. But that was happening because it was a backend and they don't know if the user existed, and then I guess they would create the account if it don't exist. So it was anyway. I'm going to doing instant log stuff here. Yes, and maybe this what I'm doing also, like it's a bit instant log stuff, but I do want to log, but I like to decide the log level. So I don't have yet the log level trace, but I think I may add it later. And I don't know if you can with using a Zap, if you can add custom login, but just because sometimes want to. So I have like how do I do this? So in the env, I have the log level. It's one of the first thing I do in a configuration, just the log level. So you wanna do logs. I like to have logs at debug levels when you really need it. But yeah, it's not all logs should be errors. Not all logs should be warning. And doing what I'm doing now, and I'm wasting a lot of time in a way. But look, you see, okay. Look what I'm doing here. Here, I can just run it quickly. and then I think I'll end the stream because I have to go, and I'll do this refactoring later, but oh, I don't have the, it's gonna be in a moment, but here I'm creating a register username. During the registration of username, multiple things. Yeah, exactly. You need to log whatever, but I think it's very important to understand the log level. Log level, and also depending on the thing you want to log, like how much information you need. So there is certain moment where I fucking want to drop as much information as possible. Like I have a middleware, log a middleware, and when it panics, I'm doing a little bit more, right? The remote address, agent, method, path query, I just kind of log the word. But in here, what's happening in user registration? There are multiple things that are, it could be the user errors, the user sending an incorrect username, right? I don't care to log, I don't want to log it as an error. It's his problem, right? But what I'm doing now, since I don't have this error mapping, that's why all of this started. What do I do now? I need to check the type of error. I need to check the business, the HTTP code return. I need to be careful of what to return. And I'm just logging everything as an error. So, and since I have 2 million type of error on the application right now, I thought, no, we did at least one error and we map it. Yeah, that's it. Tracing exists. You mean tracing like? Let me see. Thanks. Yeah. That's what I meant. Thanks. Um, so indeed, yeah. This using open telemetry. Yeah. It's definitely something I will add. But it's still something you have to do. What I mean is, actually, let me check. Whoa, is this? Am I stupid? Why don't see the? Ah, okay. There is no tracing. Okay. Here is just uses sold standard library. Okay. Roll dice.go. Roll dice. What is the call? Okay, so the ender calls the roll dice. Cool. Where is the ray tracing happening? Oh, auto.go. Yeah, I use the BGX. Okay. Can be done automatic. But I'm checking one thing here. Oh, yeah. See, yeah, and this, by the way, what I'm seeing here, that's why it's better. Like in my case of my, how do you say, mind trip I did with the errors to just realize I can just use the standard library. I'm aware that it's better not to do anything custom and try to stay. So since now I know I can do this with normal errors, it's better to do that. Because look at this. This uses standard library. And so if you start to do things that try to modify too much the language or whatever, then you want to one day add this, it may not work, or they fight between each other. Anyway, I wanted to check one thing. What is this do? So it does also a logger. But it's something you would use in your app. Ah, sorry, next. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting into details sometimes, but okay. So bloop. Okay. So under the shutdown, that's cool. Aha, this. Oh no, this is but it's cool that it's shut down. So you also, when something fails, you keep not losing the reason why it died. Add HTTP instrumentation for the whole server. Motherfucker. Okay. I guess then what this does, it kind of catch all maybe logging, like any endpoint. Nice. So I think I'll, just uh, uh, open telemetry. Just keep it this for later. It's having a little note. But I'm SRE. What does it mean? Ah, you're a senior developer. Ah, site reliability engineer. Shit, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just like a normal backend developer. So I guess you're used to have backend dev doing random stuff like that all the time. So yeah, but I think it's cool to do that. It's also a lot of responsibility, man. It's pretty cool. But thanks for this. So I guess you have these all like links already prepared for the devs you work for because they need to implement this in the app. But it's cool. I really like this. But what I was looking, yeah, okay, this is what I was looking though. You still need, which makes totally sense, to hook this in specific places, so we can do the tracing. But I want to see how this behaves. So may do some other experiment. The logger. Check if I missed something. The logger. Where does the logger come from? Perfect, indeed. So the logger you use also. It is true that I don't know if you can hook up. I don't know if you can use the like zap logger. So in my case, I'm using zap, right? I'm not sure if you can use your logger. Perfect. You can use your existing logger. The point is other is to send you the what to the collector. Yeah. So indeed, I guess in there was a moment where it creates a logger. I think it's there. Yeah. So imagine maybe here you can just customize it. You can instrument locally as well. Okay. Then look at the local summary of the data for a service. Nice. So yeah, I guess it's collecting the stats of the current service. And so, for example, yeah, this is status maybe for Docker, right? Or Kubernetes to understand. That's cool. Yeah, probably want to. So that's interesting. It doesn't seem too complicated. Echo binary. This is good to. Probably is better to start to implement this sooner rather than later because once this is set up, you just keep doing this and you're good to go. I think you don't have to think about it. And it's way more complex, I think, if you have a lot of things done. No, it's not impossible, but no, you can still do it. You just have to incrementally add it. All the auto instantiation makes local collector and forward. Okay, so you can tap the data. It's simple. Or use a standard central system like Grafana or whatever cloud you are in. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I need to look into this. So what I'll do next. I mean, I knew about open telemetry, but I never implemented it. There is also like other, lot of other tool like Zipkin. I think they're really cool. It's like I think they go towards the same line, but this is more like you also have a dashboard to see your tracing. So all the magic the Prod 7 new in my and all this. Yeah, I think you can build like first I believe with Zipkin or stuff like that. You need to build like it's you should have this right or and then Zipkin builds on top of it. Maybe not, but still, this I understand it does put the tracing, and so you can because without this it's going to be complicated. So you have this trace ID, I guess, around the app, and it just works out. Yeah, and that's why it's probably better do this already because you have this ID goes around your flow, and you will be thankful later, I think. So I don't know all of this stuff, but I know I like it. It's kind of weird. It's like not having money, but knowing that you like money. It's unfortunately it's kind of common, but yeah. So I have to end the stream, but thanks so much, man, for the follow up. I think it's pretty good. I think this was very very enlightening. Enlightening. I don't know how to pronounce this. Like I want to commit this stuff before I forget. Error theory. Cool thing I found out std-lib it does what I need. Good, so I'm pushing this stuff. So I think I'm good to go to use their news just on a not nested package in one place, right? And then at least I could use databases in a different package, but the one I'm using in my app, they're going to be in one file, simple, online. And I just kind of going to copy paste this. I just need to find a better name for this. So everything in my app, and maybe this is not good practice. I don't know. I will find out. I may regret it later. It's going to be this up error. I may change the name. I don't know, but up error. And so I know it will behave in a way. And thanks to this, I would not like I can still check if it was some underlying error somewhere else. Then next I have to refactor all of this. I do this in a separate session because this I feel I have a lighting of in Godis you don't want to do this probably. I wanted to do this less nested. And then I may start to add this open telemetry as you suggested, because why not? I think it sounds good. Yeah, man, thanks. Yeah, I'll do this like in different days, in different hours, randomly when I want to. But yeah, I think I'll do that. So next, and then I have to push this. By the way, is the project I'm working on. And well, yesterday in the Excalibur. So when I was doing this hour ending at this, and I was not drunk as well. Like I just did this because an error could happen here, and goes up, and I didn't have a way to. So yeah, this was the idea. But yeah, this is the project Game Hunger, and it's for a possible game. Actually, any game. It's open source for a game backend. So if you need authorization, leaderboards, just online storage and so on. So this is very, very far away from being completed. But yeah, that's what it is. So man, I think I'll end the stream. Thanks so much. And yeah, see you around. See ya.